So let's talk a little bit about strategic planning in times of turmoil. Does it make sense to do strategic planning? Can you do strategic planning in times of turmoil? So strategic planning is when you look at the way things have been in the past, you look forward to what you'd like to happen in the future, and you project along that line from the past, the present, the near future to the future that you envision. So, what happens when everything is in turmoil and what you've done in the past, you're wondering if it's going to keep going forward in the future? So, um, can you do strategic planning? Well, I think the thing to think about is that at times like this, you must be strategic. And that entails strategic planning. Now, having said that, you may not get yourself to a strategic plan. Rather, you may get yourself thinking strategically and planning out the next little while. And certainly planning out small experiments that you can do that are going to test for you, with you, which of the things from your past are going to move forward. Some things that you haven't tried before that may begin working now, and perhaps things that you tried in the past that didn't work that may actually begin to work in the future. So we're going to do a quick mini lesson on that right now. My name is Frances Shogin. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been in business for decades. I've been through several of these turmoil times. And there are things that you can do to help you get through them. And I'm going to quote that great disaster planning handbook, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't panic. Our first sort of instinct when things start going crazy around us is to panic, is to freeze, to kind of like pull back, thinking about not knowing how to think, because you don't know what's going on. So the idea is to pull back and assess the situation. And of course, that's not very helpful. Certainly we don't want to go off without thinking, but this is a time where we need leaders, and I'm asking you to take a leadership position. So right now, what we want to do is you need to focus on a couple of things here. Focus on your values. What's really important to you? I highly suggest you take a value. If you haven't done the work to figure out what your values are, I have a great exercise for that. It's called the values exercise. My values are truth, courage, wisdom, and beauty. So at this time, I am leaning into truth as much as possible. I'm looking for source documents to tell me the truth. I'm not listening to people who don't know for sure. I'm stepping forward. I'm going to be courageous, as hard as that is, but I'm going to do it. I know that a leadership is needed now, so let's do that together. Wisdom, I bring some wisdom forward. Having been through this a few times, I can bring forward some wise lessons. Beauty, because we all need beauty in our lives. And right now, self-care is important. The other thing I'd like you to focus on is your long-term vision. So in times of turmoil, there's a tendency to think, oh no, I don't know what's going to happen, so how can I have a long-term vision? Well, your long-term vision is very long-term. So where do you want to be in 20 years? And I know at the best of times, it's hard to project yourself forward in that way. But we all have inklings about what it is we want to have happen in our lives. So lean into that. That will help inform how you move through this situation, and it will keep you focused farther out rather than focusing on what's right in front of you, because what's right in front of us is kind of scary. Let's name it. So we're going to focus on our values and our long-term vision. And I want you also to realize, let's be calm and focused. That's what we're doing today. So what are some of the things that you can do for the people around you? Help as much as possible. So do what you can to help other people. When you help other people, it takes you out of your own situation, and it pays you back in ways of better mental attitude, deepening relationships, and building yourself as a better person. Have compassion for the people around you. Now is not the time to do predator pricing or to take advantage of the people in your lives around you. So have compassion. You do have to self-care, sleep. Now we can, right? Sleep, eat well. Now's a good time to learn about cooking, right? So learn about cooking more basic foods. Self-care also extends to your business. So as much as we want to help the people around us, we want to have compassion for the people around us, we are still running businesses. So that doesn't mean to give away everything you have. It means to do it appropriately and to charge appropriately for it. So we're going to dive much more deeply into that coming forward here. Now's the time to grow and learn. So there are a ton of resources online. Work around the internet glitches that are happening because there are so many people online. But now's a good time to take some time to learn and grow. Keep producing. Now is a good time for you to share what you know, free and paid. So again, we'll dive into that a little more deeply, but now is a really good time to show your leadership position and to show your talents and your knowledge in your industry by producing some good content, right? So keep producing value and build relationships. Now is a wonderful time to be reaching out to your customers and your team members individually. Don't blast. I mean, you can blast when providing value, but now is also a time to be reaching out one-to-one to people in your network just to deepen those relationships, okay? So those are some of the things that you can do now. So in your business, let's talk a little bit about your business, what you can do. What you want to do is meet your customers where they are. In the same way that you're feeling frozen and not wanting to dive into perhaps new projects or things like that, so are your customers. So think about where your customers are and how you can meet them in doing that. So meet your customers where they are. Also, now is a good time to take on a strong offense, and let's think about it in terms of, let's be very forward in how we help the people around us and in moving our business forward. A lot of businesses got started and did huge growth through times of turmoil by taking this kind of an attitude. So think about what's relevant right now for the people in your community. So this is your customers as well as your team, right? Like, this is an opportunity for you to take a strong leadership position with your team. If you're finding that some of your work is slowing down and you're having to, your team is working less, what are ways that you can keep them engaged with your business and keep them growing? You have to work within what you have in terms of cash and money, but also In terms of space and time and resources, are there other things that you can do for your team, customers and team? Um, the other thing is, there are still people who have money. There is a customer segment that you have who still has money. Let's face it, we're all still spending money, but we're spending it on things that we're seeing as important to us in the situation that we're in. So we're investing. We're thinking a lot more about investing. We're thinking a lot less about spending in ways that aren't helping us. So there are people who have money and who need what you have. So how can you work with them and satisfy what they need and keep your business moving? A lot of people are pulling back on their advertising dollars. Online advertising is a bidding process. Prices are going down. This may be a good time. Test your offer first. If you have an offer that's converting with people who have money and you're able to provide this value and you're pricing it appropriately, spend your money on advertising. Now is a great time to do it. So those are some of the things you can do in your business to keep your business going and perhaps grow. So take leadership position, show that you're show the value that you have in your industry. Meet your customers where they are. Look for the customers who need what you have and have some money right now. Get out there, strong offense. Find out what's relevant to your customers right now. Spend advertising dollars. Those are the things you can do right now. Going forward beyond that, we're looking at a new normal. When this all plays out, the world is going to be different. The world was different after 9/11, it was different after the 2008. It will be quite a bit more different, I think, after this. This 9/11 had a locus, and it spread out from there. This pandemic does not have a locus. It is affecting everybody all over the world. The 2008 affected specific industries or specific people that it didn't affect everybody in the same ways. This pandemic is going across everybody, everywhere. This is going to have a much more profound impact on the way things go forward than those other two events. I've also been through inflationary times, other recessions, so there's always a new normal that comes out of it, but I think this new normal is going to be even more profound. So how can we get ahead of that? What do we need to look for? So here are some things that I found very helpful in going through the last few changes, few big changes that have happened. Look at what is changing. So people are isolating. We're now in our homes more. There was that nesting move, that trend. People are leaning into that. This could go on and it's going to become different. Nesting was about enjoying being at home in a way that was very personal, but it's going to be more in a way that's business, right? So business is moving home to people's homes in a big way. What does that mean? How does that affect your business, and what can you do in your business that could do that? What else is happening? People are changing the way they're spending money, so watch that. Look for indicators of that. And one of the ways that you can see what's happening is look at what you're doing. So what are you doing differently? We all like to think we're unique, but in a lot of ways, the decisions we make are informed by what's going on around us, and the same things that are going around us individually as people are going around everybody. So a lot of the same decisions are being made and in the same way and with the same results. So look to yourself and look to the people close to you to find out what they're doing, and that will give you some indications of what's going to keep happening. So look at that and then kind of project that out and say, what does that mean for my business? Okay. And then talk to people, talk to your customers, talk to your team members, and ask why. So, you know, let's look at, so, okay, here's one. I went to the supermarket yesterday. We didn't have a lot of meat. We were a little bit behind in terms of stocking up. And the meat shelves are essentially empty and have been for the last 5-6 days. But oddly enough, the fish cases were full. So we bought a lot of fish. We lived on the East Coast for a while and we're quite happy and comfortable cooking with fish and eating fish. So we're going to be eating a lot of fish over the next little while. That's a thing. So what does that mean? Is there something that can happen in there, right? So these are the kinds of things that we look at to find out what is going to be going forward. So a couple of caveats around that also. Data points of one or very low numbers of data points do not indicate a trend. They may, but then again, they may not. So be very careful of that. Discern what kind of data you're looking at. Don't be looking at things that aren't relevant or important. So there can be a lot of things going on that are not relevant to what's going on. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to leave it at that. So talk to people, dig into the why. Why are people doing what they're doing? So look at that a little bit. So that's what I have to say about that. This is some time that you can take to work on your business. We're always so busy working in our businesses that we often don't have the time to work on our business. Now is a good time to work on your business. And so what I would suggest that you do is I hope you've taken some notes here. Take some time to write out, if that's a way that you work, or to think, or to even record something for yourself about your business and what you're seeing in the world around you and how that can affect your business. One of the good tips is, I'm going to give you a tip here, that at a time like this, it's really hard to concentrate, and what we'll find that we're doing is we're skipping lightly over the work that we want to do, and we're never quite finishing it. I've got several articles started that I'd like to write, and I haven't finished. So one of the things that we can do for ourselves is to check off one thing every day. Make sure you complete something every day. That will keep you moving forward. That will do wonders for your sense of control over the situation and your ability to bring yourself back into focus. There is nothing like putting your head down and doing some good work to give you that sense of accomplishment and focus, and the ability then to go and do it again and again, and to lessen any sense of panic that you have, or even that sort of, like I say, flighty, bouncy sort of feeling that you have. So do something every day, and listen to the world around you. Get yourself out of your echo chamber. Listen to what's going on. Go to the source as much as possible. There's a lot of A lot of information out there that may or may not be true. So as much as possible, go to source documentation or to people who are in a position to really know what's going on. So there you have it. There's some ways to think strategically about your business in times of turmoil. Put some comments below about what you've done, what you're thinking. What are you seeing that's going on around you? How is that affecting your business? What advice would you have for other business owners? Are you seeing something that's going on in your life or your business where you could see another business owner or another business has an opportunity to help you? Put that in the comments below. We're all in this together, and we're going to get through this together, and we're going to get stronger together. Let's go.